All right, you are tuned into Bowks Talking Bouts. You know who this guy is. He's headlining PFL Pittsburgh. It goes down on March the 28th. A very intriguing fight with Johnny Eblen taking on Bryan Battle, and great getting Bryan on Bowks Talking Bouts ahead of this very intriguing main event. But just, yeah, curious to hear how you're doing, man.
And I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'll be better after this fight is over. You know what I'm saying? Been working really hard, pushing really hard. You can even hear it in my voice. You know what I'm saying? It's been hard, physically and mentally, all those things. You know what I'm saying? I've gone to hell. I'm gonna drag Johnny down there with me. You feel me? And we're gonna see who comes back.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of cool. I mean, your last DBX fight, I saw you shouting that out as like your first time on the poster, but you were like, oh, I'm a co-main event. So it's kind of cool that you're on the poster and headlining a card now, eh?
Yeah, I know it's fire, man. You know what I mean? Like I said, like my last MMA fight was in December of 2014. It's just been a crazy road. Those two DBX fights, like the amount of time that I hadn't fought before I had those DBX fights, it had been a long time. And just, I'm grateful with what I was able to do and, the noise me and DBX were able to make together. And now, like, I'm really stoked for this next fight, this next chapter, you know what I'm saying, going into PFL, you know what I'm saying? Getting the headline against a killer like Johnny Eblen, like, that's what we're here for, you know what I'm saying? That's what motherfuckers start training to do, you know what I'm saying? The headline cards against world class, world class killers. So, I'm excited. Like, I can't even properly put into words how excited I am to get in there and to punch and get punched, you know what I'm saying? Test our will, you know what I'm saying? See how much of a dog Johnny's got in him. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because how much of a dog I got in me.
Yeah, and you encapsulated all of it well. I mean, you're returning to MMA after a decent stretch, and you were fighting in DBX through that time, as you outlined, and you're fighting a former champion here. It seems like a title eliminator for that, Costello Van Steenis, Fabian Edwards rematch at PFL Madrid. So this seems like a perfect storm in many regards for you.
Yeah. Nah, dude, everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. Everything happens for a reason and I'm just gonna keep on fucking doing what I've been doing, winning fights in impressive fashion. You know what I'm saying? That's been basically my entire career. So I'm just gonna keep on just chugging away, keep on fucking, you keep lining motherfuckers up, I'm gonna keep knocking them down. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
And it's cool. I mean, I feel like you'd be able to appreciate this. I mean, I'm presuming a little bit, but I know you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, and I saw an article going around about your last DBX, finish, and people calling it like a Mortal Kombat finish. So, kind of encapsulates that spirit you're talking about a bit.
Nah, man. I mean, that fight, the whole thing was just like, yo, that was just like lightning in a bottle. You know what I'm saying? The way the fight went, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, the finish, I'm not gonna say I forgot the rules and that's why I aura farmed for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, everything happens for a reason, it shit just happens, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're like that, you don't even try to make moments. Moments just happen. You feel me? So um like yeah, that's being an anime fan, I don't know if I'd be a fighter if I didn't grow up watching the Power Rangers and watching anime, you know what I'm saying? Watching Goku do his thing. Um, you know, yeah, it's like that's probably something similar is gonna happen on the 28th. You know what I'm saying? I don't wanna go out there and, be out of pocket, but if I had to guess, something similar is gonna happen on the 28th.
I mean, that would certainly serve those. I mean, this is a title eliminator based on how people are talking about it anyway, but I feel like generating a finish of that persuasion would really punch that ticket that much more. But since it's kind of been mentioned a couple of times, I'd be curious to get your thoughts because you're talking about the kind of finish you're looking to generate here and that title fight with Van Steenis and Edwards, the rematch coming up at PFL Madrid. Like, if you get this ideal finish you're talking about against Eblen, like, who do you ultimately see yourself fighting for that PFL title later on this year?
Oh, oops. I'll start off by saying it really doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Van Steenis, Edwards, you know what I'm saying? Don Rasta, you know, Jeffries, Impa, whoever it is, I gotta go in there and do what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, the opponent is just the opponent. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do what I do regardless. I'm gonna figure out a way to do what I do. But with all that being said, I'm leaning towards Van Steenis. It's a very interesting stylistic matchup. Um, and I just think Van Steenis has a little bit more of a dog in him. So I think that'll be the defining factor in that fight.
And I'd be kind of curious to get your thoughts on this because we've talked about your exciting fighting style and how you really embody that particular kind of ethos. And you fought Renat Fakhretdinov in the UFC, who, when he was, I guess, not re signed, I think a lot of people were contemplating whether or not that was because he didn't necessarily have an exciting fighting style relative to maybe how the company perceives what that is. Like, do you have any thoughts on that Fakhretdinov situation, even as like
I don't
maybe where the
even
sport's
know
at
how.
nowadays? Or, yeah,
I don't know how you would say he doesn't have an exciting fighting style. I would say
yeah.
like probably his most boring fight was against me, and even then he still did really well. You know what I'm saying? Um, he has knockouts, he has submissions. Like my guess is they just don't like the way he looks. I don't know, man. That one confused me, dude. I didn't get that one too much. I mean, I know he had a couple fights that were really like kind of iffy on the decision, like the draw, and then there was one fight I know people felt like the other guy won, but period. Bottom line, at the end of the day, he still won. So, I don't really get it. There's a lot of decisions the UFC's making right now that don't really make a lot of sense. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, yeah.
that's not my job. That's not my job. You know what I'm saying? My job is to go out there and fight. And so whatever they do is whatever they do. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep on whooping ass.
Hmm.
And talk about Fakardinov. I hope he signs with the PFL. You know what I'm saying? I hope we get to run it back. I hope he signs with the PFL. He wins some fights, and me and him get to mix it up. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I just heard an interview you did with MMA Junkie Radio talking about how PFL is such like a merit-based league, and it seemed like that was like a refreshing piece for you. So I kind of thought to bring it up in that context as well. But I mean, that would be a tremendously exciting rematch. Just seems like, yeah, there's a world of options available to you in this PFL, multi-fight deal that you have.
As long as I win, the options stay. You know what I'm saying? They stay numerous. You know what I'm saying? As long as I win, I still have a lot of options. So that's what I got to do. I got to keep on winning to keep my options open. You know what I mean?
No, fair enough, man. You got to, stay the course and focus on that task at hand. But DBX has been mentioned a couple times. And I mean, the timing of this is kind of intriguing with Dirty Boxing promoter Mike Perry being announced for that Netflix MMA card that MVP is doing, and Perry going to be taking on Nate Diaz. What are your thoughts on that fight there?
And I just did an interview and I just heard about it. I did not know that was happening until about 20 minutes ago. That is a crazy fight. And no, I'll be tuning into that. That's a fight for the fans. You know what I'm saying? That's like a love letter to the fans kind of fight. And I know Nate and Mike will deliver in that fight. So that'll be a lot of fun. That'll be a lot of fun. That's just all you can say about that fight is that it's gonna be a lot of fun.
No, for sure. And I was also seeing something, I guess, around when you had your, UFC Paris fight. You did a media day talking about how people were saying you looked like Charles Oliveira and whatnot. Like, what are your thoughts on that recent BMF title fight between Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway, that rematch that they had?
I think they need to adjust the BMF rules. Um, like BMF fights should really only be kind of like shootouts. You know what I'm saying? Like, or I don't think you should be able to win a BMF fight by decision. You know what I mean? That's like. With that being said, I mean Charles' performance was impeccable. Like, it was a beautiful performance. He went out there and absolutely did his thing. Absolutely tactically on point, execution phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like it being a BMF fight, like it is kind of one of those things. A BMF fight based on its name and how it's presented shouldn't be won by control. You know what I'm saying? Like there should only be one person standing at the end of a BMF fight. So, um, yeah, I mean, it was straight. Like it's just like a regular fight, a regular main event. It was still a really good main event, high level. Like, Charles is one of the best in the world, and he showed it again. But as a BMF fight, it was kind of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting. It kind of exists in like its own unique pocket because I feel like in a vacuum, like outside of the BMF title being attached to it, that would have been received as like a fine fight. But I feel like people, to your point, have that specific idea of, I guess, what that looks like there and everything like that. I mean, I feel like you're the
Well,
kind of
it's
person that
it's it's
embodies that.
it's
Yeah.
how it's presented. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'll be honest. I think DBX made a post, and it is kind of true. Like the DBX style is more leaning towards how the BMF is presented. You know what I'm saying? Like the BMF is supposed to be bad motherfucker, not decision motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like you said, outside you take the BMF fight, BMF belt out of that, it's an amazing fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't think hardly anyone would complain. I mean, I'm sure people are still not thrilled about Charles like dominating in the way that he did. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to. It was just really one sided. Like Charles just kind of took him down and held him down and controlled him. You know what I'm saying? But so tactically, fight wise, that's exactly what he should do. You know what I mean? But in with how the BMF belt is presented, it's kind of like, all right, well, what are we fucking doing here? Like, what's the point of even throwing a BMF belt on this? Because now you're setting these expectations, um, and if they're not met, it fucking puts a damper on the whole performance, which was still a great performance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they weren't playing a game of chicken and engaging in a car crash like how you described fighting, for instance.
Yes, 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 exactly. A BMF fight should be a big a tactical game of chicken. You know what I'm saying? Where someone doesn't leave on their feet, someone ends up on their back, or And I say all this, if Charles would have been able to get the choke, I don't think anyone has any complaints. You know what I'm saying? It was a combination of Charles' dominant control and how good Max's choke defense was. Because I don't think most people are surviving Max or Charles's back control for 5 rounds. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you, and just a very intriguing piece in the MMA landscape. One of the bigger fights within the month of March, and I feel like your Eblen fight is squarely within that context too. And it was great having you on the show, and I appreciate you making the time, man. But figured I'd give you the floor if you had a final thought you maybe wanted to add as we're wrapping up, Brian. I do appreciate the time today.
Good. For you having me on the show. I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching this, tune in, ESPN2, ESPN Plus. If you're in Pittsburgh, it's going to be at the PMC Event Center. Make sure you're there, man. It's going to be an unforgettable event. You know what I'm saying? Not just me and Johnny, Empa, and Dalton. You know what I'm saying? There's some great, great talent all up and down the card. You know what I'm saying? World class talent all up and down the card. So, we're just gonna go in there and fucking put on a show. I hope that you, as the fans, are smart enough to tune in, brother. You know what I'm saying? Don't miss out.
To your point, it's an incredible card. Like it reads like a who's who in the MMA landscape, just all the, top quality, resumes that everybody has and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, an amazing card. And again, to reiterate, really appreciate you making the time to talk ahead of the event, man. You enjoy the rest of your night. All the best with the remainder of the preparations. And yeah, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, brother. You have a good one.